205 Way. I'm straight out of Birmingham, Alabama. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I rap like a motherfucker and I sing a little bit, so yeah, that's pretty much it. What's up? It's your girl 205 Way coming straight from Birmingham, Alabama, fucking with my boy Up Next TV. You already know what it is or what it ain't. I'm in the paint. Let's go.
Alabama rapper murdered by jealous friends for being too famous? This is Kayla Warren, an 18-year-old mother, two-time Alabama Female Artist of the Year award winner, and aspiring cosmetologist with dreams bigger than Birmingham could contain. On August 21st, 2024, just after 8 in the evening, she would be gunned down in a hail of 20 to 30 bullets while standing on a friend's front porch in the Germania Park neighborhood. By 10:54 that night, she would be pronounced dead at UAB Hospital, her life severed just as her star was rising in Alabama's underground hip-hop scene. But before I take you through that deadly evening and reveal how a revenge plot spiraled into tragedy, let me take you back to 1996, to the west end of Birmingham, where 205 Way was born in 1997.
I was born and raised in Birmingham, Alabama, West End. I'm from the west side too, yeah. So yeah, from the west side or whatever. It was, I had a good childhood. I chose to jump off the porch on my own just because I was curious, Yeah. But curiosity did not kill the cat. The fur is here. But anyways, I had a good childhood. Like, I wasn't abused and nothing like that. My mom was single parent, so it was just me, her, and my brother.
There was something different about Kayla. Something that made her stand apart from other kids running through Birmingham's west side streets. She had a spark, an energy, a refusal to be boxed in by her circumstances. But that curiosity would lead young Kayla down difficult paths before she found her true calling in music.
Bitches sleeping on me, coulda thought they had the pink eye. I meant just what I said, ain't going nowhere without my damn fly. Everything I do, I capitalize. Bitches think that I ain't outside. How the fuck you be a fan and you hate when something don't sit right? Juvenile court. I was on house arrest twice. Well, I was on house arrest for juvenile court, and I was on house arrest for the county. I was getting expelled. I was fined. At one point, I got homeschooled for like a year, and then I withdrew so I could graduate with my class.
The teenage years proved tumultuous for Kayla as she navigated adolescence in a city where violence lurked around every corner. She found herself tangled in the juvenile justice system, spending time on house arrest twice, first for juvenile court matters and then for county-level offenses that threatened to derail her future. She was expelled from school, bounced between educational settings, and at one low point was homeschooled for an entire year just to stay on track academically. But despite the chaos, Kayla possessed unbreakable determination to graduate with her class from Wenena High School. And graduate she did, diploma in hand, ready to pursue something, music and self-expression through rap.
How y'all doing tonight? I'm just a hood-ass ghetto bitch. Bougie as hell when I want to be, but I'm gonna pop my motherfucking sheet. This is my sheet. Wherever I walk in, it's gonna be my sheet. I'm gonna own this bitch. Let go.
I really started rapping in 2017, but I started taking it serious in 2020. I had the passion for it since I was 11. What made me make the first song, I just had started living myself and getting in tune with myself.
But it wasn't until 2017 that she truly began pursuing rapping seriously, and it took until 2020 for her to commit fully to the craft. The catalyst came during a profound transformation as she emerged from a toxic romantic relationship that had been holding her back, preventing her from recognizing the talent within her. Once she broke free, once she started loving herself and getting in tune with who she was meant to become, the music began to flow from her, unstoppable and pure, filled with authentic emotion that listeners could feel in their bones.
And I'm not in public disrespect, smoking down loud. Oh. You was at your damn mind. Think I've been here before. I'm before my damn time. Not wasting my time on books, they feeling my rhymes. My stardom is now, I ain't watching the time. I'm going ending, no paper to sign, ain't no dotted line. See, I'm on my grind, mind on the million, I'm going, I ride with a semi. They know I'm a feeling, but I keep it with me. Rather he judge me before I let him get me.
Under the stage name 205K-Way, combining Birmingham's area code with her personal stage name, Kayla began building a reputation throughout Alabama's hip-hop underground as an artist who refused to glorify violence or perpetuate negative stereotypes.
I was just K-Way, but my stuff was popping up on the other people's stuff, so I was just, I ain't like that, you know what I'm saying? I ain't like that, so I added the 205 so that I can be separate from the other artists that go by K-Way in the different states. But when as I get bigger or whatever, you know, I'm always rep 205 no matter what, but yes, I would like to just be K-Way.
Her talent did not go unrecognized in a state hungry for authentic female voices in a male-dominated genre. Kayla received the honor of being named Alabama Female Artist of the Year twice by the Big Motion Awards. She shared her tracks online, built a devoted following who connected with her honest lyrics about motherhood and ambition, and slowly began to see doors of opportunity crack open wider with each song released, each performance delivered. Each interview where she spoke about her dreams of reaching the Grammy Awards stage and showing the world what Birmingham had to offer.
Thank you. It's nice. And a mom. Yeah. I'm a mommy. Yeah, I got a 4-year-old little girl.
Even as she poured her heart into her rap career, she had recently re-enrolled at Midfield School of Cosmetology to obtain her license, viewing it as a practical backup plan that could provide for her young daughter, regardless of whether music dreams materialized.
Like, what's the city that you visited that opened your eyes up?
Take nothing but Atlanta, for real. In Atlanta, and then Atlanta, like a lot of people from Birmingham. I'm finna move to Atlanta. I'm finna move to Atlanta, but
the struggle was real for artists trying to make it out of Birmingham, a city that by August 2024 had recorded 106 homicides, on pace for the deadliest year in the city's recorded history, with 153 total murders, a staggering rate of approximately 81.5 deaths per 100,000 residents that dwarfed the national average.
Because of just the crime. And they don't got nothing to do for real. They just not starting, you know, they got the freeways together a couple years back, and they just finished like a little thing downtown, kind of like what the kids doing outside at the water slide or whatnot. Like, they just don't got nothing to do, and it's just like the murder rate is super high down there. So if I was a rich person and with it, I really wouldn't want to go to Birmingham.
The violence plaguing Birmingham's streets was not some abstract statistical phenomenon existing only in police reports. It was a living, breathing reality that touched every neighborhood, family, and person trying to build a life in a city where retaliation and revenge had become accepted culture. And on the evening of August 21st, 2024, that violence would come crashing into Kayla Warren's world. Around 8 o'clock in the evening, Kayla was at a casual gathering on the front porch of a friend's home in the 700 block of 30th Street Southwest, located in Birmingham's Germania Park neighborhood, a blue-collar area where residents had lived for years and generally knew each other. But unbeknownst to Kayla and the others, they were about to become collateral damage in a revenge plot that had been brewing beneath the surface. A caravan of vehicles suddenly arrived at the location, and these men had come with a specific purpose, with a mission that had been planned and discussed in advance, with vengeance burning in their hearts. The motive for their arrival traced directly back to a previous incident where Jamil Carrillo Jemison, who would later be arrested as one of the suspects, had himself been the victim of a robbery perpetrated by individuals associated with the very house where Kayla and her friends now sat unsuspecting of the danger rolling up with deadly intent. Facebook messages from the day before the shooting revealed chilling evidence of premeditation, with discussions among the group about shooting 2 individuals as part of a planned robbery designed to settle the score. Before the robbery could even unfold as planned, before demands could be made or items taken, the situation exploded into absolute chaos. gunfire erupted without warning, with reports indicating that 20 to 30 shots were exchanged in a shootout that shook the entire neighborhood. Kayla Warren, standing on that porch where she was enjoying time with friends, was struck by gunfire. She was rushed to UAB hospital in critical condition, with medical staff working frantically to save her life. But at 10:54 p.m., just hours after she had been laughing with friends, Kayla Alexandria Warren was pronounced dead, her life extinguished at just 28 years old. But Kayla was not the only victim. Nebrian Adams, a 20-year-old who was inside one of the arriving vehicles, was also struck by gunfire during the exchange. He was initially transported to Princeton Baptist Medical Center before being transferred to UAB Hospital. But the following day, August 22nd, Nebrian Adams succumbed to his injuries, becoming the second fatality in what was now classified as a double homicide. Marion Redwine, a 66-year-old woman who lived in the adjacent home and had nothing whatsoever to do with any disputes or robberies, found herself in mortal danger as bullets began piercing through her walls. She was in her bedroom when the shooting started and immediately dove for cover as rounds tore through her space, shattering her television, exploding ink pens in a cup, and missing her by mere inches in multiple instances. When police arrived at the scene, they found it littered with shell casings of varying calibers, clear evidence that multiple shooters had been involved in the exchange, that this was not some simple confrontation, but rather a full-scale gunfight involving numerous participants firing in different directions with little regard for who might be caught in the crossfire. The 911 calls that flooded into the Birmingham Police Department captured the sheer panic and terror of neighbors who heard the barrage of gunshots and feared for their own safety. Investigators quickly determined through their initial assessment that Kayla Warren had not been involved in the underlying dispute, that she had no connection to the previous robbery or the revenge plot. She was labeled as an innocent bystander, someone who was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. The Birmingham Police Department immediately launched an intensive investigation into the double homicide, with detectives working to identify suspects, gather evidence, and build a case that could bring some measure of justice for Kayla Warren and Nebrian Adams and their devastated families. The investigation revealed that the motive stemmed from a revenge plot tied to a previous robbery incident, with the suspects arriving at the location specifically to target individuals they believed had wronged them. Detectives uncovered critical pieces of evidence that seemed to point clearly towards suspects who could be charged and prosecuted. Surveillance footage captured the vehicles fleeing from the scene and tracked them to an apartment complex and then to hospitals where some individuals sought treatment for injuries sustained during the gunfight. Police recovered a drum magazine and multiple shell casings from a vehicle belonging to one of the suspects, physical evidence linking that individual directly to the scene and suggesting their active participation. The suspects themselves provided inconsistent statements to investigators, with stories that changed and contradicted each other in ways that raised serious red flags. One suspect claimed he had only fired warning shots after being targeted himself, attempting to frame his actions as self-defense. Another suspect was observed on surveillance footage entering the home, but denied any involvement in the actual shooting when questioned. Despite the 8-month delay between the crime and the arrests, police finally made their move in April 2025. On April 10, 2025, 23-year-old Jamil Carrillo Jemison was apprehended in the 1900 block of Princeton Court, initially on an unrelated marijuana possession charge, before being formally charged with capital murder. 2 days later, on April 12th, 23-year-old Ladre Demond Todd Green was also arrested and charged with capital murder, both suspects now facing the most serious charges possible under Alabama law with potential death penalty implications. For Kayla's family and friends, the arrests brought a glimmer of hope that justice might finally be served, that someone would be held accountable, that the legal system would work as intended. But that hope would prove tragically short-lived. In June 2025, a preliminary hearing was held before Jefferson County Judge William Bell to determine whether sufficient probable cause existed to move forward with capital murder charges against Jemison and Todd Green. The prosecution presented its evidence, arguing that the Facebook messages discussing the planned shooting,
the surveillance footage tracking the suspect's movements, the shell casings recovered from Todd Green's vehicle, and the inconsistent statements all combined to demonstrate coordinated intent in participation. But the defense attorneys, Hiram Griffin, Jerry Carter, and Adam Daneman, systematically highlighted critical gaps in the prosecution's case that raised serious questions. They pointed out that no witnesses had come forward to testify that they actually saw either Jemison or Todd Green fire weapons during the incident, that no video evidence existed showing the specific moment when shots were fired and who fired them, and that elements of self-defense could not be completely ruled out, given the chaotic nature of the confrontation. Judge Bell ultimately sided with the defense, dismissing the capital murder charges against both suspects due to lack of probable cause. He noted that the state had failed to prove specific intent for capital murder, that the evidence presented did not definitively establish who fired the shots that killed Warren and Adams, and that without direct witness testimony or clear video evidence showing the suspects in the act of shooting, the charges could not move forward to trial. The defense had successfully argued that prosecutors could not prove the robbery that supposedly motivated the attack had ever actually occurred. For Kayla's family, the dismissal was devastating beyond words, a gut-wrenching blow that felt like losing her all over again. This case was not an isolated incident of charges being dismissed in Birmingham homicides. The dismissal marked the third such dismissal in just weeks, highlighting systemic challenges in prosecuting violent crimes in a city where witnesses are often reluctant to come forward due to fear of retaliation in accordance with the so-called stop snitching culture that pervades many urban communities. Birmingham's witness relocation programs attempt to address this problem by offering protection to those willing to testify, but the fear of being labeled a snitch and facing violent consequences for cooperating with law enforcement remains a powerful deterrent that allows many killers to escape justice. As of November 2025, the case remains officially open but effectively stalled, with the potential for a grand jury indictment still technically possible but increasingly unlikely as time passes. Kayla's family has hired attorneys to explore civil litigation options and potential federal charges that might succeed where the state prosecution failed, but nothing can bring back the woman they lost. The tragedy of Kayla Warren's death resonated far beyond her immediate circle, sparking an online movement known as Justice for K-Way, where fans shared her music, posted tributes, and demanded accountability for a system that seemed unable to protect its citizens from escalating violence. Her music experienced a surge in streams as new listeners discovered her authentic storytelling and conscious approach to rap, with tracks that had previously reached modest audiences now being shared across social media platforms.
Yeah, we up in the penitentiary, but then what we do, we got one arm putting on like this. Yeah, love you. Yeah, OT up this.
Posthumously, Kayla received another Big Motion Award, a bittersweet honor that recognized her lasting impact on Alabama's hip-hop community while simultaneously serving as a painful reminder of all the awards she would never be present to accept, all the stages she would never perform on, all the songs she would never write. How do you protect yourself from violence that erupts without warning, that targets you not for anything you've done, but simply because you happen to be standing near people involved in conflicts you don't even know exist? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Click on one of the cards on your screen to see more videos like this one.